What's going on, Jeromes? We know the value that Justin freaking Jefferson brings to the table, and he is the reigning, defending offensive player of the year, but he certainly should and could be getting some MVP love as well. And the whole thing about offensive player of the year is that they'll just name a quarterback MVP, which has been the case ever since 2012, when Adrian Peterson was the last non-quarterback to win the award, and a wide receiver has never won the award because usually what happens is that, hey, someone's throwing him the ball, and they get credit for, and then the wide receiver is sort of whatever. But they'll name the MVP a quarterback, and then if a receiver has a really good season, they'll be like, oh, here you go. Here's Offensive Player of the Year. Good job, little fella. No, it's bollocks. It's absolutely trash, and Jefferson does deserve some MVP love. Enter Adam Schein, who's a columnist over at NFL.com. 2023 NFL MVP dark horses, Derek Carr. Okay, never mind. Skull production value. Derek Carr, Justin Jefferson, and Jared Goff among sleeper candidates. And this is what Schein wrote about Jefferson. MVP odds plus 10 grand. So you're getting 100-1 odds on Jefferson being MVP. Ooh, I like it, man. I know no wide receiver has ever won MVP. Shoot. The position rarely draws many votes, but Jefferson is clearly no ordinary wideout. Look at his first 3 years of NFL.com or NFL production: 1,400, 1616, 1809, yada yada. Good grief. What a baller. If that yardage trend continues, Jefferson could become the league's first 2,000-yard receiver. I could see that happening. I wrote a few weeks ago with Dalvin gone and Kirk Cousins in the contract year, Minnesota could let it fly through the air, especially with this being Cousins' second year under head coach play caller Kevin O'Connell. Kirk and I have a ton of dialogue throughout the offseason, just really in anticipation of an excellent year 2 in our offense. O'Connell said at annual league meetings back in March. He actually brought this up to me the last time he had the same voice calling blah 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 blah, same play caller, whatever. If Cousins enjoys one of his best seasons, Jefferson could produce one of the greatest wideout campaigns ever. And if the Vikings make the playoffs again, that could be enough for Jefferson to make MVP history. And if anyone is going to win NFL MVP as a receiver, is going to be Jefferson. And you think about through the years, Jerry Rice never won MVP. Randy Moss never won MVP. Cooper Kupp in his Triple Crown season wasn't even in the MVP conversation. But Jefferson easily could be that guy. And he was a finalist last year because it was the first year of ranked choice voting. So you vote 1, 2, 3 versus just number 1. And Jefferson ended up 5th in MVP voting. He got 11% share of the votes, 55 total. Mahomes obviously won. Then you got Hurts, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. He's just surrounded by quarterbacks like him and Joey Bosa and Parsons, and AJ Brown even got 1 vote. Kind of crazy, man. But yeah, Jefferson made the podium, and he was top 5. He was a finalist and also ended up winning Offensive Player of the Year. But the whole thing about Jefferson is, yes, his statistics are amazing, breaking records for first, second, and third year player. Last year, he led the league in receptions as well as receiving yards with 1,809. He was flirting with 2K towards the last 2 weeks of the season, and I think that there's a couple things that need to happen. Number one, all right, so here's how Justin Jefferson wins MVP. First off, Mahomes and Josh Allen and Joe Burrow need to just need to have whatever seasons and sort of cancel each other out in the vote. Justin Jefferson would have to win the Triple Crown, leading the league in receptions and yards and touchdowns. Touchdowns is something where, Jefferson's been phenomenal, but he only has 1 double-digit season for receiving touchdowns in 2021, and that was only 10. So we need a 15, 16, 17 touchdown type season out of JJ to pad these stats. JJ 2K, I think that he has to break that seal. I think that he has to go for 2,000 yards, 17-game season. I think should be easy to do. And the Vikings, they got to be the 1 seed. And here's the whole thing. You could say, yes, the Vikings offense is going to be great if they're the 1 seed and JJ wins a Triple Crown and goes for 2,000 yards receiving. What about Kirk Cousins? Wouldn't he be getting the love? No. So Jefferson is uniquely set up because if he was with any other quarterback, like say he was with Mahomes or Josh Allen or Burrow again, they obviously would get all of the love and attention, or Jalen Hurts as well. But since it's Kirk Cousins, the voters are going to be like, it must not be Kirk, so it must be Jefferson. So then he gets that vote there. So I think that's the outline of how Jefferson ultimately wins MVP, and I think that it's possible. I think it certainly is doable. I think that we're long overdue, and I think that JJ is that guy to potentially break that seal and become the first wide receiver MVP in league history. But your thoughts are thoughts. Adam Schein, NFL.com, says that Jefferson is a dark horse MVP candidate this year. certainly should be. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Most worth the work. Put a little something in the Venmo, but to next time, Skol, production value.